By the spring of 1971, a brutal military crackdown in East Pakistan pushed over 9 million refugees across the border into neighboring India. This immense human tide brought severe immediate consequences. The Indian government absorbed a $700 million economic burden, draining 4% of their central budget. While facing the very real threat of permanently shifting the demographic makeup of its border states, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi demanded immediate military intervention, but her military chiefs refused. They insisted they needed the monsoon season to pass, requesting time until December to guarantee a swift victory with minimal casualties. Denied immediate combat operations, India deployed a non-kinetic option. They completely shut down Indian airspace to all Pakistani flights. That single administrative decision severed the direct link between West and East Pakistan. It funneled the entire enemy logistics network into one highly vulnerable, thousands of miles long sea route circling the Indian peninsula. Attacking Pakistani supply ships directly would be an official act of war, triggering the conflict before India's military was fully prepared. The solution was a covert campaign, codenamed Operation X. Deep inside a secret camp in West Bengal, known as C2P, Indian naval officers trained local East Pakistani insurgents, the Mukti Bahini, in guerrilla maritime tactics. These commandos learned to swim underwater in complete darkness, navigating to docked Pakistani supply ships to silently attach magnetic limpet mines directly to the hulls of the vessels. The entire network was triggered simultaneously by two specific songs played over a public radio broadcast. That hidden signal initiated a synchronized wave of detonations, sinking over 100 enemy vessels and destroying 19,000 tons of munitions. By leveraging local insurgents for targeted underwater sabotage, India crippled the enemy's logistical supply chain while maintaining plausible deniability on the world stage. As the sabotage continued with mechanical precision, Pakistan's leadership concluded these were not random guerrilla attacks. The systematic nature of the blasts suggested a professional naval operation, prompting them to deploy the long-range submarine PNS Ghazi to eliminate India's aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. Tracking an underwater target across the vast expanse of the Indian Ocean was nearly impossible. The Ghazi operated with a significant stealth advantage, utilizing the immense cover of the sea to slowly close in on the eastern coastline. The Indian Navy employed radio direction finders, detecting a pattern of brief, encrypted communication bursts moving toward the coast. To tighten the net, they activated a human intelligence layer, training local Madras fishing communities to report unusual marine activity. Combining these directional radio intercepts with ground-level civilian observations stripped Pakistan's deadliest naval asset of its primary weapon, stealth. Recognizing the Ghazi was zeroing in on their carrier, the Indian Navy secretly evacuated INS Vikrant to a highly classified, uninhabited location in the Andaman Islands, known only as Port X-ray. Vice Admiral N. Krishnan devised a plan to draw the submarine away from Madras and up toward the port of Vishakhapatnam, a location equipped with superior anti-submarine defenses and tight geographical constraints. The deception started on the airwaves. Indian operators intentionally broadcasted basic, unencrypted radio messages, easily intercepted by Pakistan, discussing the imminent arrival of INS Vikrant at Vishakhapatnam. Then they planted physical bait. The Navy placed massive, highly visible orders for fresh vegetables and meat in the local Vishakhapatnam markets, perfectly simulating the logistical footprint required to feed an entire aircraft carrier crew. This reliance on massive food orders, calculated to be reported by enemy informants, successfully manipulated the Ghazi into sailing blindly into a trap. To ensure the submarine took the bait, the Navy initiated the most dangerous element of their strategy, deploying the INS Rajput, an aging, soon-to-be decommissioned destroyer, to act as a decoy. Captain Inder Singh commanded the Rajput out of port, with its communication systems broadcasting at maximum volume. The goal was to mimic the heavy signal profile of an aircraft carrier, knowing full well it made his ship an active target. The Ghazi, maintaining strict radio silence to avoid detection, intercepted the noise. Believing they had found the Vikrant, the submarine navigated directly to the narrow entrance of the Vishakhapatnam harbor. While attempting to secretly lay a minefield right at the harbor's choke point, the Ghazi spotted an approaching Indian ship. To avoid a collision, the submarine executed an emergency crash dive, slamming heavily into the seafloor and severely damaging its own forward torpedo tubes. The strategic layer of misinformation had literally driven Pakistan's most dangerous naval asset into a self-inflicted physical trap. Late into the night, as the INS Rajput returned through the harbor channel, its sonar riem picked up distinct heavy vibrations. It was the sound of the trapped Ghazi violently struggling to resurface. Taking no chances, Captain Singh instantly ordered the release of two massive depth charges directly over the source of the acoustic disturbance. The massive shockwave from the depth charges hit the submarine and triggered the Ghazi's already damaged weapon system. The resulting secondary explosion completely destroyed the submarine from the inside out. When Pakistan officially declared war and launched airstrikes on December 3rd, their most critical naval asset was already at the bottom of the ocean. This allowed the INS Vikrant to emerge from hiding and establish an unopposed total naval blockade of East Pakistan. Starved of reinforcements and supplies, 93,000 Pakistani soldiers were forced to sign the instrument of surrender, directly resulting in the birth of the independent nation of Bangladesh. The 1971 naval victory was secured through localized intelligence and calculated deception, clearing the sea lanes before the official war ever began.